Hello, and welcome to Algebra 2. My name is Mr. Shanklin, and I will be your Algebra 2 teacher for this year. When you click on Algebra 2 to come into the class, you will see you should be taken to this first page, which is the announcements page. Each week there should be a new announcement kind of explaining what you should be doing for that week. If you take a look at week number 1, you'll see that welcome to week number 1. This week you will be completing the scavenger hunt. Please click on the Getting Started button to the left, where you will see the scavenger hunt right at the top. Once you click on the scavenger hunt, you will be able to begin. Please work through the material, okay? And you can see if you're having any questions, I have my email there and my phone number. Please, if you have any questions, just email or call me or leave me a text, which would be great. So let's try that. Getting Started button. So here's the Getting Started button. If I click on that, you will see the scavenger hunt. And if you click on that, here's the scavenger hunt. You're supposed to go through this, and it kind of walks you through how to do the scavenger hunt. Kind of explains how the class is set up. And I'll let you go through the scavenger hunt yourself. The first thing I would do as a student is go to the pace chart. Click on the pace chart and you will see what is due every week during the semester. I would suggest that you print this off, okay? Because it's going to tell you week number 1, September 3rd through September 6th, the scavenger hunt. Everything that is in black is what you are supposed to do. Everything that is in red will be put into the grade book as a grade. So you can see that week number 1, you're supposed to do the scavenger hunt, then take the scavenger hunt assessment. Week number 2, September 9th through September 13th, you're supposed to click on Unit 1, Foundations of Functions, and complete the following. Complete section 1.1, Exploring Transformations, and then take the assessment. And then complete section 1.2, Introduction to Parent Functions, and then take the assessment for that. So there are 2 graded things and 2 items that you're supposed to go through. This is how the section 1.1, this is how you get the information, and then to show me that you understand it, you take an assessment. Okay? I would definitely print this out. It's great to have in front of you. Okay, so let's do week number 2. Let's go to the lesson button. So we click on the lesson button, unit number 1, click on that, and you can see over to the left-hand side you have section 1.1, then the assessment for 1.1. Section 1.2, then the assessment for 1.2, and on as we go down. This is how you get the material, learn the material. Now, this is not the only way to learn the material because we still have live sessions, we have help sessions that you can come to. But this is the way that you would work your way through the course. At the top, you will see what target we're working on. So in section 1.1, we're working on a graphing target. I can use transformations to graph parent functions. Okay, when you're done with this section, you should be able to apply transformations to points and sets of points. Lesson material, all of this stuff below there is the lesson material that you can learn the material from. Way at the top, you have some tutorials. They're video tutorials. They're pretty good. So if I click on anything that's in blue, should be a live link to a tutorial. So let's go to transformations. If I click on that,
if we move around the coordinate plane, what we're actually doing is producing a transformation. And it's sort of neat because we can take something in the plane, a figure, a graph, or a point, and move it around, and we can describe that movement and see what happens before and after, also known as the...
So this is basically how you get the material that you are supposed to learn. You just click on these examples. So transformations, translating and reflecting functions, stretching and compressing functions, applying transformations. So there are some really good tutorials here. And then I went out on YouTube and I found some YouTube videos that also go along with the lesson material. So if you click on, and you can make them bigger by just clicking on the full screen if you want to. Just hit play.
All right, now we're going to describe what happens when you reflect over the x-axis. So that means our mirror is going to be this line here. The line, this line incidentally is where the height was.
Okay, so you can watch the YouTube videos. Now, let's say you still are struggling with the material. There's still more. There's a PowerPoint presentation. So if we click on that, you will see a PowerPoint presentation will come up, and it's pretty good. There's a warm-up. If we continue down, objectives, the vocabulary. Here's some more vocabulary, and then they go into a lot of examples. Okay, there's tons and tons of examples. Now, you'll notice if you come to the live e-sessions, I use a lot of the PowerPoint presentations in my live e-sessions to help out. So if you go through the PowerPoints, you'll see a lot of that. I'll be going through a lot of it during our live e-sessions. Okay, so that's another way that you can learn the material. Once you've done learning the material, you should practice what you've learned. So I've included practice problems. Okay, now practice problems are not graded, but I do suggest, I highly recommend that you do the practice problems because that's the only way to become good at math is by practicing what you've learned. So if I click on it, here's the practice problems. Now I'll tell you that the assessments will look very similar. You'll see that this says practice B. Well, there's an A and a C also, and what I did with the assessments is I kind of took the same type of problems off of the assessments or for the assessments. So if you can do this work here, you'll have no problems with the assessment. Okay? Now, the post-assessment is not graded. This is a, if you wanted to click on this post-assessment, it kind of just tells you if you really understand what's going on. So there's only 3 questions here. And if you get all 3 right, you're probably pretty good, and you probably could go on to the real assessment. Okay. Now let's say you got all 3 of them wrong. That's like, oh, you probably need some more help. So down here we've got extra help. Click on it, and there's some extra help. You can watch a video, and it will kind of go through the material again on what you're supposed to be learning for this thing, and practice problems and videos, and kind of goes through the answers and the solutions to these problems. So it's kind of helps you out. Then let's say you're one of these types of students that really needs a textbook. Here it is. You can click on the textbook. It will take you to the online textbook. You just have to put your username and password in. Okay, let me put my password in here. And I have a bunch of books to go from, but here's my Algebra 2 book. And I know it was page 7 through 12, so if I just go to book pages, I'm just going to put page 7 in here. And that's where section 1.1 starts, exploring transformations. And there it is, all of the work. And you can click onto the next page here if you wanted to. And if you take a look over to the right-hand side, you will see the lesson tutorial videos. You could watch them here. Interactive practice. If you click on that, there's a interactive practice that you could work on. So there's a lot of material. And then the glossary here. So this textbook is yours. There's student resources. If you click up here, interactive practice test, a lot of different things, exploring transformations, practice quiz, practice problems. So there's lots and lots of stuff in the textbook that you could use. Okay? So that's where you get the bulk of the material for this course. Now let's say you're ready, you think, I've got it, I can do the problems now. So you go to the next thing below the lesson is the assessment. Every assessment or every lesson has an assessment. So we click on that, hit continue, and here's the assessment. Now it says, question number 1, it says perform the given translation on the point 25 and give the coordinates of the translated point. Left 3 units, down 6 units, right 4 units, up 2 units. Okay, so I think this is really 2 different problems here. I suppose it's 1, 2, 3 different problems here. I really should make that more clear, and I'll go in there and I'll change that to make it more clear. But what you're going to do is you're going to perform that, and you need to show all of your work. And in order to get credit in math, you must show your work. Some kids are going to say, well, how do I show my work? Well, got that all taken care of also. If you take a look in the how-tos, if I click on the how-to button here, this is, I put all these in here. Learn how to record your spoken answer. So in some problems, I'll ask you to explain what you're doing, and you can just do that with a Vocaroo. Let's say you like to do your homework on a piece of paper and pencil, and you do it at your desk. That's perfectly fine. You could scan your answer in. So you could download your scan and work. You could take a picture of it with a digital camera or a cell phone and then insert it. You could do it on a Google Docs by creating a Google document. And if you click on this how-to, you will see that, oops, I only have the Vocaroo in here. Oh no, I guess I have the scanning in here and the pictures in here, Google Docs in here. So let's just take a look at scanning. Let's say, now let's do pictures. Let's say you wanted to, you were going to use your cell, you were going to do the work by hand at your desk on a piece of paper and pencil, and then you're going to take a picture of it with your cell phone. Okay, so how do I insert it into a test? Well, so I click on this.
Hello, and welcome to how to insert
And I can make it bigger
an
if I wanted to.
assessment answer and show the work.
And it will
using
get clearer
a
in a
digital
bit. I
camera
tried
or
this
your
before.
cell
It does get clearer.
Now, since you have to show your work
Kind of
in math,
weird why it doesn't
there
right off
are
the
many
bat.
different ways of
But
using the equation editor.
this is it will
You
take you right through
scan,
how
work your
to
problem out on your
insert your answers into an assessment. Okay? All right. So that basically goes through what you need to know to do the course. How do you get the information? How do you insert your answers? Now, every week we have a recorded, or we have a live e-session. Boy, I don't even see my live e-session button here. I guess I have to put that in there. You have a recorded e-session button, which if you can't make it to the live e-sessions each week, you can always go to the recorded and watch the recorded session. You just click on it, and you can see I kept last year's recorded sessions in here, so you could just click on week number 2, if you wanted to, and you could, watch the recorded session. And I'm not going to go through there because it takes a little bit of time to open it up. So, whoops, I didn't want to open that. But you can watch the recorded sessions. Now let's take a look at the other buttons we have here. The announcements would take you back to the announcement page. Course information, staff information. If you wanted to learn a little bit more about myself, click on the staff information. And there's a short little slide rocker presentation about a little bit about myself. There I am. My son, my daughter. We'll stop this here. And that's just, and if you want to watch, there's 3 slides here, so you can watch a little bit more. Gives our information. Okay. Final week basically has the final exam in there because that's what we do for the final week. Textbook. If you click on the textbook button, it shows you how you can get into your textbooks. You can click on this link. Oops, I think this is a live e-session.
Good morning, everybody.
That came
How's
up.
everybody this morning?
If you take a look, here are the students that came into the live e-session from last year, and you can see that I have the PowerPoint presentation up. And if you want to, you could just watch, and it we go through, and kids will raise their hands and ask questions and stuff like that. But if you can't make it to the live sessions, you can always watch the recorded ones. All right. Here's the textbook. Different ways to get into the textbook. Some people like a hardcover book to have at their desk. Here's the ISBN number. You could go online and order that book if you'd like to. That is how you get started with this course. I think the most important thing, pace chart and the lesson button, because that's where you're going to get your information. Here's all of the things that we're going to be going through this semester. You click on it. Unit 1, you know that there's 4 assessments here, and you go. Now some kids, they say, well, I know how to do transformation, so they go right to the assessment, which is okay, but I do worry a little bit if you don't do the practice problems and all that you're not going to know the math as well as you should. All right, I hope this helped immensely, and I hope to see you guys at the Live sessions or help sessions this year. Have a great year of school.